you? My name is Nancy. I am known as the Disorderly Stitcher here on Flosstube. I also have Instagram with the same handle and an Etsy shop, the Disorderly Stitcher. Sorry, my brain is like, and there is a Facebook group as well. We would love to have stitchers join our Facebook group, but please remember that there are questions that you need to answer. And if you don't, or you don't answer them in a way that I think you're a stitcher, then I'm going to decline your request. Now, that doesn't mean you can't come back and answer them again, but you know, we're just trying to keep the group troll-free. It's a troll-free zone, right? So I was asked by some friends if I was going to do a WIP parade, and my intention had been to do this in the week between Christmas and New Year's. Unfortunately, I went to the eye doctor on the 30th of December, and I had a reaction again to the eye drops that they use to dilate my eyes. And you can still see some of the remnants of this reaction. So I didn't want to come on and look like I had been punched. So that's why I waited a while. And I know everybody's doing the WIP parades, and I hope that you are able to find something in this one that inspires you or tempts you, because you know that rabbit hole, yeah, it's real. It's for real. So with the number of WIPs that I have, this is going to be done in segments and edited together and all the filmy things. So I'm hoping that I go in the order that I have them listed, but I'm not really worried about that. So anyway, because let's face it, I am disorderly. And disorderly simply means that I really don't follow a plan. I am trying Whipgo, and if you're unfamiliar with Whipgo, you can check out Jessie Marie Does Stuff. I know that I had said something in my last regular video about my own chart, Whip It, but you know what? Why should I reinvent the wheel? So why am I kidding myself, right? That's going to make any difference. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. If I'm not, I'm not. But I don't create a planner that says, okay, on Monday I'm going to do this, and on Tuesday I'm going to do this, and on Wednesday I'm going to do this. I don't do that. Do I have ideas of what I want to do and how I want to do it? Sure. I would love to have Mirror Monday. I would love to have Full Coverage Friday. I'm not that organized. And those of you that know me get it. Okay? All right. So this is going to be a while, and I don't want to take up your whole day. So let's just get started. Now, I don't have anything unzipped, and there may be crunching involved. So if you are on some earbuds, phones, whatever you're on, be prepared. Okay? All right. I think that's all the care and comfort we need to address. Yes. Okay, so I have created a WIP list. Let me reach for it. I showed it last time. I have my binder. Okay, this is organized. How long is this going to last? We'll see. So I have my book of days. I have my Whipgo chart. And I have my WIP list. And this is just one I created based on from the one from the Naptime Stitcher. I just put things in that I wanted and took things out I didn't want. So I don't necessarily have it completed because I never really thought about tracking when I start it, when I finish it, when I this, when I that, what fabric it's on, yada, yada, yada. Because back in the 90s, we didn't do that. Or at least I didn't do that. I didn't know it was a thing. So here's my WIP list. And as of right now, I have, well, on this, I have 53 WIPs listed. Now, there are already 2 that have been finished. Get out of town by sundown brown. All right. So, number 1, I have these tags. Because then if I look at my WIP list, I'm like, you know, okay, let's work on that. This is in a bag that was given to me by my dear friend Kelly. I love it. Hi, Kelly. All right. Here we go. Didn't make a card for this one. This is Sarah Stewart Hardman. I had seen Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and Celeste from Celeste Creates, both working on this. I'm going to write some names down so I remember to connect them down below. Is that the word? List them down below. And I fell in love with it. I'm if you don't know me, I'm a sampler girl. I was a history teacher. I love the history of it. You know, these are BAPs, big ass projects, or big awesome projects, however you want to phrase that. And of course, these take a while. And okay, I'm good with that. So Sarah Stewart Hardman is from Needlework Press. Now, I did take this apart. I'll pull this out. Woo, see? Take this apart because I wanted to scan it on my printer scanner and put it into Markup RXP. It didn't necessarily scan well. I think I need to go back in and do it again, but I always keep the paper copy near me to double check. Now, I am not, you know, promoting RXP. I know some people use Pattern Keeper on an Android device, and that's fine. Whatever floats your boat. And some people are, you know, diehard paper people, and I get it. I do. But you know what? That thing has spoiled me to no end. So, Sarah Stewart Hardman. I am using Classic Colorworks floss. All right, so here's my flosses. I also created these floss tags that simply tell me what project and which bag. Because, you know, we always, or sometimes we lay flosses down or we put them somewhere and then we don't know what they're for. Yes. So I'm doing this on 40 count Be Stitch Me blush linen. I started it in 2025. I don't know when because I didn't write that down. And it's, you know, I got all pumped to work on it and just started. So that's as far as I've gotten. I love it. I love it on the blush. I think I got this in a Friday night fight night from Be Stitch Me. That's something she does on Facebook, in the Facebook group. I think it actually goes this way, people. I think. Let us look. Why, yes, this is the corner. Upper left. So that's Sarah Stewart Hardman. I'll get back to it when I get back to it. It's okay. There we go. How am I going to do this? I have no idea. All right, number 2 is in this coffee bag that I made a while ago. This is Kirby by Needlework Press. This was a Threads of History kit from, excuse me, my eye's itchy from that reaction. This was a Threads of History kit from Country Sampler. I was in that a couple years ago, and I loved it, but, you know, we have to share the wealth, if I have that, in different areas. So, anyway, again, another sampler with a big house. Go big or go home. So the called for are Dinky Dyes, Soie d'Alger, Belle Soie, Gloriana. I'm not using the silks. I am using the overdyed cotton conversion that was provided, except I had to, I substituted a couple of color and cotton because I didn't have those threads that were in the conversion, and I'm happy with it. So here we go. I love that splash of pinky red. I don't know what that is. Is that old brick? Barn door. This is being done on parchment by Weeks Dye Works. This is the old Weeks, I believe. Yes, it is, and I'm okay with it. I don't have any problem with it. So here we go. Now, I was watching Emily C. Hi, Emily. And she had said something about wanting to start it. And I said, hey, you want to sal this? And she said, sure. It's not an official sal. We were just, you know, trying to encourage each other. I don't know how far she is. You can see how far I am. So I love the variegation in the house. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. So that's Kirby, 1845. You know, you look at the intricacy of some of these things and you wonder how they managed without LED lights and magnifiers. No wonder they all went blind by the time they were 50 years old. All right, number 3. If you're counting while watching this, I'm sorry. Okay, this is probably one of the first BAPs that I started. This is Antonell, and I knew nothing about over one stitching or satin stitching when I bought this. I thought, okay, cross stitches, cross stitches, cross stitch. I was wrong. But I'm enjoying it. There are many of you that know the story that I took this to my first retreat at Steel City and tried to work on the stem of this border, and like every 10-15 stitches I was just like, damn. And everybody knew what I'd done. I had started up here, I went all the way around to about here, and then for some reason I decided to meet and go down there. There was a mistake somewhere in the chart, and I'm like, I cannot look for it. So I came home, I started counting because each of these corners is different. The mistake was in that short section. Thank goodness. I've also made the mistake up here with these flowers, the color of these flowers, because I had flipped the page one too many and ended up making this flower the same as these. So I'm good with that. I'm not ripping it out. So I'll end up doing these flowers the same way. The over one, some of this is done in tent stitch. Now I'm debating whether or not I want to take it out and use the silk, because I'm using the DMC and I like the DMC, don't get me wrong. The silk in this one is Soie d'Alger, And do I really want to buy Soie d'Alger? I don't know. It looks good. It's okay. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So here's the DMC. Woo! Twisty twist. There we go. Lots of green. I love it. One day I'll finish it. So, you know, there's the stems of the border. I'm not going to waste your time with that. So there we go. That's how far I've gotten. I really should pull this back out and work on it. There you can see the over one. If the over one is like in a group, like the leaves of that flower or, you know, the star symbol, then I do 10 stitch for the most part. But if it's the stem, then I do the whole stitch. Just because I think the 10th stitch looks weird when it's all by itself. So anyway, and I have my Charlie Brown needle minder. Yes, Julie, I have a needle minder on this one. Do I use it? Julie knows the answer to that. I am a stick it between my teeth person. I started this on February 12, 2023. It needs to be done. Finished. Oh, these are all going to end up on the floor. Whoops. I have to put Anne's book back then. All right, number 4. This I found on Etsy. It's in a bag I made. I'm also a quilter, so quilt block stuff makes me happy. Getting into the swing of patriotic because of our 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This is Grace on Thee. I will stick a picture right here because this is a PDF that I got from Etsy. It is from Quaint Rose Needle Arts. I am stitching it on Morning Fog Linen by Bestitch Me, 36 count with Classic Colorworks and DMC. Look at that blue. Ugh. Now, that means that blue is Auntie D. I pulled Auntie D and Mermaid's Fin to see which one I liked better. And I think I'm using Auntie D. Who knows? I might use both of them. I started this on July 15th, 2025. Oh, there's another needle minder, people. All right, so there we go. Now, there is a mistake. Somewhere in those letters, there is a mistake, but you know what? I'm okay with it. Yes. Now, this needle minder, public service announcement. This needle minder is from PNB Creations, and the information is down below. My friend Nancy, hi Nancy, the stitcher with the laughing face, had contacted me about a 250th Sal. And I said, well, that's a cool idea. And her, you know, it was let's do 13 things for the 250th because she modeled it after the flag, 13 stripes. Okay. So down below, there is a link to our little graphic. I'll have to look and see if it's in mine. Of course I don't have it. Why would I have it? And Pam from P&B contacted me and said, hey, we would like to create some notions to go along with the sow. So they created needle minders, they created floss drops, and a corner gauge. And they're like, we would like to offer a discount on our patriotic items through July 4th, 2026. So if you are interested in getting a patriotic needle minder, floss drops, corner gauge, please check them out. And remember, it's only on the patriotic items. Okay? But anyway, there's Grace on Thee by Quaint Rose Needle Arts. So I have God Shed on. All right. That's number 4. All right. What pictures do I need? God Shed. All right. This is number 5. It's in a Lori Holt fabric bag that I ordered from Goose. Hi, Denise. She makes wonderful vinyl bags. Wonderful, wonderful. This is from the Year in the Woods series number 1. This is the Barn Owl. This is the only one I bought out of this series. I just thought his face was cool. It was a little creepy looking until I put the face in, but I am doing this one on Picture This Plus Valor, which I believe, yes, is the called for. Oh, look. Julie, look. All right. Love that movie. Here we go. Sorry, the threads are a little weird. So there's the threads. It's DMC, except for 2 weeks dye works. I am not that far. It's pathetic. But there we go. I started this one in 2023. I don't even know when because I don't have a project card for it. I need to get that done. Don't we say that about all of them? Especially during a WIP parade, right? Right. 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 All right. Number 6. This isn't a bag I made. It was one of my first attempts at patchwork using a mini charm pack that I had. I just threw some 30s prints on the back. Oh, goody. This is Isabella Jackson from Prairie House. Now, this is one of the first ones I got when I climbed back into the cross-stitch cult in 2021. My husband and I went to Virginia for a few days, and this was after a lot of the restrictions had lifted after COVID, and I stopped at Cross Stitch Station. I think that's the name of it, in Waynesboro, Virginia, and I'll put the name and information down below. She does not have an online website to my knowledge, but she does have a Facebook business page. Anyway, I walked in and I was like, it's a small shop, but it is loaded. Loaded. And I zoomed in on this sampler. This is done on Picture This Plus Ale, 36 count, with the called for DMC. Now it calls for Belsoir, and I didn't do that. So I used the DMC conversion. This is so close to being finished, people. Look, I think I'm like right here. And then I have to do, yeah. So here's the threads. Did I show you these already? There's the threads. What I should do is scan that pattern and put it in to, I'm gonna have to remember to get a board out before the next group. So there it is. I have to finish the border, but yeah, it's not that far from being done. Let's see if I can get rid of that shadow. So on my WIP list, I have a little star by this one that I really need to pull this out and work on it and get it done. It's been hanging out since 2021. Again, I don't even have a project card for it. Tell me when in 2021 I started it. I'm going to say November because that's when we went to Virginia. And that was when I, you know, followed directions, which would surprise many people, and did what the designer said. All right. All right. Number 7, Village of Hawk Run Hollow. I'm doing this one on Alcott. It says Alcott Needle and Flax, 32 count with the DMC conversion provided by the designer, Carriage House Carriage House Samplings. And I don't know if it is 32 count. I started this in February 2023 with Chris, the camping stitcher. Hi, Chris. And it's, you know, gobs of DMC. Not even going to try to twist that one. Here is the chart. Excuse the glare. I'm debating about restarting this, but I don't know. The reason I'm questioning if it's 32 is because I am pretty sure that I am using one thread over 2, which sounds weird, but is this Alcott? I don't know. I'm not even through the second block. It's a bed sheet. That's okay. So there we go. The one thing I would go back and change is the grassy things in block 1. I use long stitches, and I might go back and just make them, you know, 1 square back stitches. I haven't decided. This one's gonna stay put away until I get Shores of Hawk Run Hollow done, and I'll explain more about that when I get to it. This is in my Peanuts, my Charlie Brown portfolio. Now this is one of the first portfolios I did, and I love Charlie Brown. My daughter, Beth, worked for Joann's for a while between college and her, you know, real life job. And she would text me when the truck came in. She's like, Mom. And I would say, bring it home. Now I have all this Peanuts fabric. Could I make project bags for my shop? Yes. But I just have to be careful how they're listed. You get my meaning? All right, number 7. That was number 7. Number 8 is One Nation by Bygone Stitches. It is in a bag that I made with Teresa Kogan fabric. I love this bag. I love this fabric. I love, love, love. This is another one that I fell in love with when we were in Virginia. Where's the picture? Many people are working on this now because of the 250th. So here it is. It's huge. And again, because I was doing what the designer said and following directions, I got a piece of 28 count ale linen from Picture This Plus. If I was doing this again, I would do it on 36 or 40. But I was a good girl and I followed directions because I can. So this is being done with the called for Classic Colorworks. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the blue. Not really, because I don't have a lot of blue left. So there's the blue. This is blacksmith blue, and then there's the red. I love the variegation, and the white. The white is antique lace, and the red is Cupid. It's one of my favorite reds. I was working on this last night, so it is still in the hoop. Sorry. I didn't take it out because I want to finish some more on it before I move the hoop. Probably should have taken it out, but here I am. I'll hide my face. So last night I was working over here where it said Rhode, and so I'm going to finish Rhode Island. I'm working on the red stripes in the flag, in the rose. Then I will move the hoop over and finish Rhode Island and Tennessee and whatever comes after Indiana. Illinois? Hey, history teacher. What's next? Mississippi. All right. Illinois. Then I start, after I get those 3 stripes done, then I start on the big ones that go across the length of the flag. I am doing the red 1 stitch at a time, so I get the variegation. The white, I'm not worried about. So that is One Nation. I've been working on this one since 2021. When I was much younger. Number 9. Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. I had, you know, listening to Brenda buy all the blackbirds, so I started buying all the blackbirds. And this one, this border and this one are supposed to be done in satin stitch. I blessed this thing up and down numerous times trying to do that or not backstitch, satin stitch. I finally gave up and made it full crosses because I wanted to keep my sanity. This is done using some DMC, some Gentle Arts, and Weeks Dye Works. Famous Blackbird colors. I honestly don't know how far I am on this one. My friends and I that meet and Zoom on Wednesday have decided that the last Wednesday of the month is going to be Blackbird Day, which I think will serve a very good purpose for me. So that's as far as I am. I love the colors, but that satin stitch, it was going to put me over the edge. I watched Nicola at Hands Across the Sea. I've talked to numerous friends, and I was like, okay, forget it. Which means that when it comes to Anton Ufendel, I have no idea what I'm going to do when I get to her satin stitch. All right, number 10, Faith of the Heart, With Thy Needle and Thread. I think, honestly, I know what this is. This is a chart that Jane from the Boss Stitchers, hi Jane, said something about starting, and, you know, sort of half kidding, I said, hey, do you want to sell this? Okay. Have I kept up with it? No. Like I said, I don't sell, I start. So mine are start alongs, not stitch alongs. But I love those bluebirds. And of course, it has a big house. This one I started on July 1st, 2024. It has a combination of flosses, DMC, color and cotton that I pulled, Classic Color Works, and Weeks. So they're all in there. The blues I pulled are color and cotton. Yes. Because I was in the Color and Cotton Thread Club, and I was like, you got to use this stuff. And I just stabbed myself with a needle because I can. Not very far. I have half a bird. Why am I not working on these things, people? Because I have 53 WIPs. All right, next one is in a Black Cat X Stitchery bag that I purchased from Tiffany. I hope Tiffany's doing well. I don't know if she watches me, but I know she's not making bags anymore. She had to, I don't know if she had to or she decided to, but from what I understand, she went and joined the workforce outside of bag making. So I wish her the best. She's a sweetheart. Okay, this is American Sampler by Plum Street. Started this with Chris the Camping Stitcher. Chris is done, framed on the wall, because she's awesome. And again, a big old house. It's patriotic, you know, because of the history teacher in me. And it has a quilt block on it, a star. Here we go. I love that blue. What is that blue? That blue is Uniform Blue from Gentle Arts. So again, this is when I started and I didn't write it down on a project card because I wasn't project carding at that time. So it's on I Don't Have a Clue linen, 36 count, and I started it in 2023. Is that it? At the front? Sorry, there's a thread because of the, oh, yeah, because of me. Not that far. I should take the time. I should. You know, we have a lot of shoulda, coulda, woulda. Should take the time to do like 3 threads a day on some of these, and they'd probably get done. Sorry. Itchy eye. If I keep doing this, my eyes are going to get really red. All right, so that's Group A. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. All right, this is Group B. This one I keep wanting to pull out again because a lot of my friends and people and others that I've never met are working on this. So this is in a bag that I made with some fat quarters that I had. This is number 12. This is Dasher and Dancer from Hobby House Press. I know that Lori Holt did this in green. I know that I think Christy Crosshatch Quilts is doing it. I know that Emily from she's the one with the pink room. I don't know. When I edit this, I will put her name across the bottom, and yeah. And a couple friends of mine are working on it, and I've seen it done in green. I've seen it done in red. If you know me, you know I am a red person. This is another one I'm going to go back and I'm going to scan and put it into markup. Love that. All right, so Dasher and Dancer, Fiber on a Whim, 40 count, Milk and Honey, started December 1st, 2023. It's on a bed sheet. Now, I decided to use red. All right, and this is Mulberry. But as I was stitching on it, and I believe it was from a suggestion from Chris the Camping Stitcher, she said, well, why don't you do the tree in green? I said, okay. So this is Forest Glade. Then I got to the reindeer, and I thought, well, reindeer aren't red. So I pulled Cocoa Bean, Color and Cotton. So most of it's going to be red. The reindeer are going to be brown, and the tree will be green. So that's as far as I am. My friend Kelly is working on this. I can't remember if anybody else is. So one of the things on my Whipgo board is a Quaker. And so this has Quaker motifs in it, so this would count. And I have other Quakers on the go. Yes, I do. And the nice thing about this, when I scan it, it's all one symbol because it originally was a monochromatic stitch, and I don't have to go through and tell it what symbol's what color. Okay, number 13 is in a pumpkin bag because I had a pumpkin bag to use. This is, whoop, showed you the chart. That's not good. This is my Home Sweet Home, Patriotic. This is done on Be Stitch Me, Hot Cocoa, 36 count. I started this in 2023. Fell down the Brenda Gervais rabbit hole. I am using Weeks and Classic Colorworks and DMC. Traditional Brenda colors. Not that far, people. Yes. No. Yes. I haven't even gotten to the Robin. Why? I don't know. Again, would I scan this one? I can. Would I have to tell it what symbols are what? Yes. Now, I will say the one thing about using a program like Markup is that they only give you three floss brands to put in for the key. So I always end up putting in, if there's a DMC conversion, I put in the DMC number, or I make it up. But if you are using Markup and you know of a way to type in the name of a floss, like a Weeks floss, like Palomino or Dove or something like that, please let me know. I haven't figured that out yet. All right. That's 13. 14, Oh Sweet Humility by Antique Sampler Reproductions. 40 count Hemingway Needle and Flax. This is another one that I saw Celeste working on from Celeste Creates. And my friend Kara, hi Kara, was going to work on it with her. So, you know, I fell in love with it. Again, a big ass project with a big house, lots of grass, why not? And a whole over one verse. The thing about this verse is, if you notice, it goes right up against the flower. Now, I'm saving that for last because I think if I move this over a stitch, it'll fit better. But, you know, I'm not worried about it because this is the way the individual stitched it in 1835. Right? Right. Okay. I am using the DMC because I can. There we go. Love that red. That red is 816. This time I got smart and I put the symbol, which is probably what I should do on some of my other ones. I am not that far, people. This is the top. It's a 3-color border. I think Jordan, the tattooed stitcher, might be working on this too, or worked on it and finished it. I'm not sure. Oh, Sweet Humility from Antique Sampler Reproductions in my cow bag. I don't know what I'm flipping around here. I love cows. We play a game when we're in the car called the cow game. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with this, but when I mention it to people, they look like me. I'm nuts. So I think my husband played this when he was a kid. So basically what you do is when you're driving down the highway or driving down a road, you count the cows on your side of the road. And sometimes we estimate because, you know, you're not going a speed that is conducive to counting 150 cows. But then if you reach your destination and you have the most cows, you win. But if you pass a cemetery on your side, then you lose your cows. Now, my grandson, who was 12, and let's face it, kids don't like to lose. When he was old enough to understand the cow game, and he would lose his cows, he would get very upset. So he made up the rule that you collect tractors, and a tractor can save your cows. But then you lose that tractor. Does that make sense? And then we decided, then we would pass places that sell tractors. And I'm like, no, we're not getting 16 tractors here. So we decided you get one tractor from the tractor place. And it's you know, it's a way to spend time. So we play the cow game all the time. All right, back to your regularly scheduled WIP parade. All right, number 15 is the Equality Sampler. And I don't matchy my bags all the time. So this isn't a Halloween bag I made because I like the Halloween fabric. All right. This I started on August 15th, 23. It's on Vintage Homespun by R&R, 36 count. This is from Plum Street. Many of you are familiar with it. I did have to substitute 3 flosses because I didn't have them. Again, this was before I understood 1/1, so it's there and there and there. So this was in celebration of the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote. Not teaching anymore. Some of these facts and figures are going out of my head because I retired a couple years ago, year and a half ago. All right. Started this one with my friend Kara. I am sure she is much further along than I am. But I love it. And I love the way the over one is turning out. All right. Put that somewhere because I'm not using it. Okay, that's the equality sampler. Number 15. We're through the first side. How exciting. Number 16 is in a bag from Denise at Dot Dot Goose. Love it, love it, love it. This is Little Bit of Spring by Blackbird. Now this one I started because Kim, Contented Needleworker Kim, hi Kim, was working on it, and I went gaga, and I started it on another fabric and realized that I had turned the fabric the wrong way. So I had to restart it. And here's the very muted palette, but I love it. Here's a project card. This is about when I started using project cards. And I have project cards for sale in my Etsy shop. So I started it on Vanilla Latte by Weeks, and I switched to Sugar Cream Pie from Bestitch Me, I believe it is. Yes. So here's a Little Bit of Spring. All right. Now, the original, this is the rechart, I believe. Yes, here's the original. And the rechart looks like this. I was blessing this border up and down to no end because it would not meet. And I even made my own copies so I could count and highlight. But it finally came together, and that's when I put it away. So that's as far as I've gotten, is the border stem. Is that the front? Yes, it is. I'll get it done. I'll get it done. My kids have made it plain that they don't want my cross stitch when I go. So it either gets done or it's going to be, some person's going to find it at the Goodwill. Okie doke. Next is Courage by Simple Gifts. This was inspired by Pam from Just Keep Stitching. Hi, Pam. And she did this as a celebration of her 30 years cancer-free. It is originally charted in pinks, and I bought the pinks, but I didn't really care for the pinks. And so I started this at my first StitchCon in 2023. So when I got home, I thought, you know, I need to do this for me. So I went and looked up the ribbons. And there is a mental health awareness ribbon. And mental health is something that my family has dealt with for a long time. My mother was an alcoholic. My sister was an alcoholic. My brother abused drugs. I dealt with depression that I didn't even know I had. Anyway, that's enough of that. So I went in and I picked two greens. These are DMC. It is 3347 and 3345, and it does take quite a few. And so that's what it looks like. I'm not that far again. And again, you know, I will probably go back and I will scan this because it is a monochromatic and it's not going to, you know, be a big deal. So there we go. So this is the first time, this right here and over here is, and the heart is the first time I've used the lighter green. So there we go. Thank you, Pam, for that inspiration. I really appreciate it. It's cathartic, you know, is that the word? I think that's the word. Okay, number 18. Live on Little by Plum Street, Be Stitch Me Linen, Sand Dollar, 36 count, started 6/13/23. This is one of those things that I stupidly took to StitchCon. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start this big one. I started it. Did I get very far? No. Now, I am sure many of you know Live on Little. There it is. Big, big. Lots of blue. Big house. Yeah. It's a combination of Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works, and DMC. Lots of. All right. I like this. I love it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. But do I grab it a lot? No. There we go. Is that the front? Yes, it is. How grew too. That's as far as I've gotten. I'm okay. I'll get it. Will I scan this one? Probably. Will I have to take time and assign each color something? Yes. Okay. Number 19, Sweetland by Teresa Kogut. XJU Designs, Linen, Spilled Coffee. 36 count, started on July 4th, 2023. Where's my picture? There it is. Big eagle. Big eagle. All right. This is a combination of DMC, Classic Color Works, and Weeks Dye Works. There we go. Teresa colors. The blue is Wavy Navy. There we go. I have not tackled that big eagle yet. Now I have thought about just doing the top and then putting it around a spool or making a drum. I've never made a drum. So there's that. I've never altered a chart. I never have made a portion of a chart. And there's a part of me that says, this is just me. I'm not judging anybody, but my inside, that brain cell is saying, you're quitting. And I know I'm not. I'm being realistic, you know, but I love that big house. Now, I could do the big house, the part down here, and I could make it a pillow. You know, because big houses, once you get the outline done, it's not that hard. Now, this is in a Como Stitches bag that I got when I was at StitchCon in 2023. People were talking about Como Stitches, and I'm like, what's Como Stitches? So when I went up to my room about 10:30, I was like, you know, okay, thank you very much. Add to cart. Thanks, Jess. I'll put her information down below. The house, what is the house? I have no idea. No idea. Anyway. No idea. Somebody said in a comment that she likes my singing. I will break out into song. Ask my friends. Somebody says something and it's a lyric from a song and I start singing it. Music has always been a big part of my life. I tried playing piano, but I didn't practice. I wanted to be a part of the marching band. I didn't. So anyway. Number 20, Plant of Rapid Growth. This is in a bag I made with Teresa Kogut fabric. Plant of Rapid Growth, heartstring samplery done on color and cotton linen, Renaissance, 36 count. excuse me, started on June 1st, 2023. Here we go. I love it. Lots of border, lots of leaves, lots of house, lots of. Here's the threads. They're a little mangled, worse for wear, but they'll live. I'm about half done with this. There we go. I have one more page, I think, to do across the top, and then I have the bottom. You can see I've only done the 20, so the other side will be completed when I complete it. Should I try and finish this for the 2026 anniversary? I could. I should. I could. There's always a possibility. All right. Number, where are we? 21. I know you're screaming at me. Martha Evans by Scarlet House. This was the birthday stitch along for Brenda from Brenda and the Serial Starter when she turned 60, I think. And Tanya reproduced this as a gift to Brenda. This was the first time I ever ordered MPI silks, and they are in these. All right. I find those a pain in the butt. Americano linen from Fiber on a Whim 40 count. Started January 16th, 2023. I have not pulled it out. I love the silks. I love the colors. They're so bright and vibrant. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. Got to pull that out. Got to do all the things. Gotta. Yeah. This is in my up bag. I love Doug. There are a few Disney characters that I absolutely love. Doug is one of them. All right, 22. I have another coffee bag. This is Prairie House Sampler from With Thy Needle and Thread. Where's the picture? That's the chart. Here we go. I fell in love with the browns and the blues. Big house, but it's only stitched every other line. And I don't know if you stitch the white in between. If you do, I might not. Why not? What the heck? So this is how far I am. Started, this is on linen called Gin and Tonic, 36 count. I have no idea who the dyer is because I bought it, I think, on a thread, on a cross stitch D-stash, and I didn't make note of that. But I started it February 7th, 2023. I'm running out of room, people. All right, this is in my Looney Tunes bag. I'm not a big Looney Tunes fan, but I do love Marvin the Martian. This is Tiscuit a Tasket by Rosewood Manor. It is on linen that is light blue from God knows who. And 36 count, Weeks Dye Works. Now, I fell in love with this. I think I'm quickly falling out of love with it. I don't know if I'm going to finish it. I may end up abandoning this. There's a lot of stop and start in that border. I don't park because I'm afraid that I will forget which thread is which. Now here I have a tail, so I'm, you know, like not following my own statement, but that's as far as I've gotten. I think it's beautiful. I may put it out for adoption. I don't know. If I don't pull it out at all this year, then it will probably go out for adoption. All right, Map of Hawk Run Hollow. Started this again. I think Chris the Camping Stitcher had already started it, and I'm like, cool, let's do this. Typical Hawk Run fashion. It's charted in NPI, but I did not buy the NPI. I am doing the DMC. Lots of. The difference with this one, whoops, is that it is not done in a block by block situation like Villages was. It is done as a map. All right, I love it. I know Janet from Janet Jabber. Hi, Janet. She decided to edit the chart to her liking. It turned out beautifully, beautifully. I have not pulled this out in a while because I have been concentrating on shores. So here we go. That bird part was a bear, but I still have so much of the bird left. I have the beginning of hawk over here. It'll get done. This is on, I have no clue, linen. Started in 2023. I don't know. I have no idea what that is. Started it before I started keeping track of stuff like that. Running out of room. There's going to be an avalanche here, people. All right, number 25. This is Rosehill Farm Sampler and Pin Keep from Stacy Nash. This was from the Homespun Needlework group on Facebook. They do exclusives, I think 4 times a year. This was one of them. It has been released to the general public. Beautiful colors. Love it, love it, love it. I'm gonna guess that's, yeah, baked apple and Lancaster red. And is that sanguine? Sanguine? Yes. Now, it came with a needle bling fabric. And I know there was quite a fuss. I don't want to say quite a fuss, but I know some people were not happy with the called for fabric that was provided in the kit. And it was needle bling broomgrass. And my piece turned out dark, and the Oscar, because you know Oscar's everywhere, blended right into the fabric. So I changed mine. So there it is with my Lilo and Stitch. I changed mine to Dusty Cottage from Be Stitch Me, 36 count. I believe Chris the Camping Stitcher has hers done. And framed. And on the wall. Because she's awesome. We have 2 left in this group, and then I have to switch. All right, this is Stitcher's Garden, Tiny Modernist, Weeks Dye Works, gray linen, 36 count, using color and cotton, started on 5/13/2023. This is another one that I toy with putting out for adoption, but I believe I am more than halfway done. or close to halfway done. Should just pull it out and get it done, right? Great. There we go. I like it. It's stitchy. Why haven't I finished it? I have no idea. I keep this one in a bag that was made by my friend Tracy at OG Stitchery. Hi, Tracy. So, no idea. No idea. No idea. Here's the color and cotton threads. Love the red. It is Bing Cherry. Budapest red. Oh, and carmine. So there's two reds. Every time I hear carmine, I think of Laverne and Shirley. Okay, Stitchers. Okay, that was Stitcher's Garden. Number 27, Let Freedom Ring by Leela's Studio. Kept in my blueberry bag. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Many people are working on this. All right, this is a PDF, but this is a print of the cover. My original goal, and I said the word now, was to divide this into 13 sections, do one section a month, and be done by July 4th, 2026. That ain't happening. It'll get done when it gets done. Now, the one thing I did notice is that on mine, the house, I believe, is done in used brick. The house. Independence Hall. But then, I think it was Jane from Boss Stitcher said hers was Calico Kitty. So somewhere along the line, it changed from this to this, or the other way around. I don't know. Lots of thread. Lots of. That seems to be the word for the day. Lots. Big ass project. I am doing this on Be Stitch Me Grog 36 count. Started on 5/4/25. There we go. That's as far as I've gotten. Another, you know, like in what's the word? I don't want to say intense, but a border that requires you to think. I like to color complete while I have it on the needle. That doesn't always work. So, there we go. That is Let Freedom Ring. Again, I should pull it out. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. All right, that's group 2. I'm going to put these up on my shelf. See that blank space? That's where they go. And I will pull out group 3. I'll be back. I'm back for part 3. All right. Hopefully you went and got something to drink and had a chance to go, you know, do whatever you do. All right, number 28. This is Fish and Ships, not chips, ships. From Long Dog Samplers, and it's being stitched on Under the Sea, Mermaid's Tail, I think, because I ordered 2 blues and didn't write down the one I was using. 32 count. I am using DMC Floche, and I'll explain what Floche is in a minute. And I started this on January 20th, 24. Now, this was a stitch that Laura from Stitching by the Shore, hi Laura, was doing, and I was intrigued by the idea of using this thread. Now, here's the chart. All right, so it is monochromatic. You could do it on white and stitch the chart in whatever color you wanted, or you can use the blue fabric and do white. I chose the blue fabric, doing white. All right. So Floche comes in big hanks. And of course, you know, I went big and I ordered 3 of them. It is from DMC. However, Floche is thicker, slightly thicker than regular DMC. So when you stitch with it, it's like stitching with a thread and a half, or so I am told. So I'm using that for the cross stitches, and then Laura suggested using Sulky, oh please, for the back stitching. So I'm copying that. I had to make myself a whale bag. Love whales, they're so cute. Now, I started this on 36. I didn't like it. It was very tight with the Floche. So I started it again on the 32, and I like the coverage, but that's as far as I am. I love the modeling in the fabric because it looks to me like, you know, the ocean. There we go. Again, if I did like monochromatic Monday, this puppy would be done. But it's not, because I'm not. So there we go. How many hours do you sit a day and stitch? I'm just wondering, because I find that I can't do that. Now, can I sit here and sew on a quilt? Yes. But I almost feel guilty sitting there and stitching. I don't know why. All right, next one, Comfort Lighthouse from Carriage House Samplings. This is one I bought. I love lighthouses. I'm not a go to the shore person. I don't like being hot. I don't like having sand stick to me. I don't like it. Do I like walking along the beach and finding seashells? Yes. Do I like looking at lighthouses? Yes. Do I like hearing the waves hit the rocks and the shore? Yes. But if I go to the shore, go to the beach, however you wish to refer it, I just want to go and look at it and like maybe stay in a house on the beach and watch it while I stitch. I'm not a boardwalk person. Don't get me wrong, but that's too much peopling. Okay? All right. So I had purchased this. Here it is. And it was sitting there, and I decided, because there's only, I'm talking too fast. There's only there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 7 colors, and it's charted. It's actually charted in DMC, but she gives you an NPI list. So I decided to go with the NPIs. Okay. So when I went to my first Grace Notes retreat, I met a lady from the Lancaster area, Lancaster, PA, named Holly. Hi, Holly. And she was looking at it, and I said, well, let's stitch it. Let's start along it. I'm sure she's done, but I'm not. So I'm doing this on Picture This Plus Ren 40 count. I believe it calls for Picture This Plus Ren 40 count. Did what I was supposed to do. I love the NPI. This is how far I am. What is that little thing above the crab? That's part of the moon. So, yes. One of the things on my, I'll show you my Whipgo list at the end. and explain my logic, if I have any. All right, so that was started. When was that started? In 2024. I don't know when. All right, this is number 20. This is number 30, which comes after 29. This is in a Very Hungry Caterpillar bag I made. It's one of my favorite books. Even made a thread bed. Even though I'm not a big thread bed user, I made it. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. This is on Prudence by Plum Street. I'm stitching it on 36 count Bramble by Picture This Plush using Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts, 36 count. And I started it on January 20th, 2024. Here's the chart. I love the colors. Again, big border, big house, big ass project. Here's the colors. Look at that purpley berry color. What is that? One of them is Weeks Dye Works Mulberry. And the other one is Loganberry. Oh, we have Loganberry and, yeah, Loganberry from Gentle Arts. All right. Working on the border. Again, not very far. Did I finish the border? No. Started working on the border. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get all the way around and it's not going to work, but I'm thinking positive. I'm thinking positive, people. Positivity. Accentuate the positive. There, I sang. Number 31, Summer Quaker, Leela's Studio, done on Be Stitch Me linen in the color Ledger, 36 count DMC. Started August 1st, 2023. This is in a bag that I made with fabric that I had bought in a bag kit from Missouri Star. Never made that bag, so what the heck. So here are the colors. I'm sure many of you have seen this. I know that I can see her and I can hear the Huga Stitcher. I'll put it down below. She's working on it and or has finished it. Put her on my list. Hygge. Oh, there's, that goes. Hold, please. Hold, please. All right, so Summer Quaker. There we go. I know there is a charting issue somewhere in the green. I found it. I just have to remember what it is. And the chart, it's not an even number. Like it's not a, what's the word? Consistent thing. But just be careful. If you decides to stitch this one, decides to stitch it. Yeah, that's good. Be careful. That's as far as I've gotten. I had to get down and do some of that lighthouse. I love the crabs. They're so cute. I don't like crab. I'm not a crab eater. I'm not a lobster eater. There's something about eating something that looks at me when it's being cooked. I just, yeah. And then it looks at me when it's cooked. I just, yeah, don't like it. So, yeah. I eat fish. I eat shrimp. I don't like crab, lobster, oysters, clams, weird things like octopus, squid, calamari. Hate it. Anyway, sorry. I digress. Okay, this is one of the newer ones. This is Leia Latorno from Refleah de Soie, done on classic, or excuse me, color and cotton, bronze medium, 40 count in Vicki Clayton silks, and I started it in 2025. I will put a picture of the chart here. Now, this is the first time I have put silks on drops. And I know that Linda is gonna like freak because I'm petting them, but I love you, Linda. All right. So if you have a chart that you want to try and do silks with, Vicki silks are very economical. She is slowly changing from silks on spools or bobbins to silks on cards, like Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works are done. I took mine and put them on these Adam Hart drops. I wanted to use the plastic drops. A viewer had sent me these a while ago. And then I have a, let me get my leg caught. I have a, what is this called? Nelco little label maker that I got from the Amazonians. And I made labels for each one. I listed the DMC number because that's what the chart is charted in Refleah or no, Soie d'Alger. And then she gives a DMC conversion. So I typed in the DMC number, the color, the Vicki Clayton number, and when, and this is the dye lot date. So if I ever run out, hopefully she will still have some of those dye lot dates. But I love it. Look at that purple. I'm not a purple person, but look at the purple and the pink. But you know that is what's grabbing me. So they carefully go in the bag. All right. Now, you can order this paper copy from like 123 Stitch, etc. I chose to order it from Refleah de Soie in France. And you order it, she sends you a message, you pay the bill, and then she sends you the PDF. Because this thing is confetti heavy, lots of stop and starts, and this is only one part of the border. Okay, lots of color changes. But it's beautiful. Now, I know that a couple friends of mine, Diana, we call it Princess Leia. Diana is working on it. Kelly's working on it. Nell is working on it. I also know that Celeste from Celeste Creates is working on it. I don't know who else. So if you're working on it, let me know. Let's encourage each other. It's a big girl. All right. So that's Leia Latorno, otherwise known as Princess Leia. All right. Shores of Hawk Run Hollow, the one I keep talking about and haven't shown you yet. This is a fabric I found at Spoonflower, because I had to have it because it's, you know, sailing ships and all that other stuff. Now, my friends get together on Monday night, Kelly and Diana and probably about 10 of us if we're all there. And I decided, I think with the help of I decided with a little help from my friends, anyway, to do this on Monday nights, every Monday night. And I've made quite a bit of progress. Excuse me. So here's Shores of Hawthorne Hollow. The plan for this was to make this my leap year stitch. Excuse me. Oh no, I think I have the hiccups. All right. Trying not to. So, starting on March 1st, or February 29th, whatever it was, 2024, Leap Day. The intention is to finish this by Leap Day of 2028. Some of these blocks are all but full coverage, like this one, all right? And so, and you know, sometimes these things overwhelm people, and I get it. I get overwhelmed. So I thought, okay, we'll divide each of these into 4 sections, do 1 section a month. That's 4 months. This one would be divided in 8 months, or in 8 sections, which is 2 months. And we would get this done. That's 48 sections, so that's 4 years. And I know some people are sticking with that. I know that some people are just like, you know, scooting along, and there's no rules. It's a start along. You get it done when you get it done. I know some people have decided to only do some of the blocks. Oh, excuse me. So I got these 4 done and this one. I started working on the black borders. So I think I got the big one done, and I got this one done, and I got this one done. And I think this is where I was when I decided to work on a block again. So I went from, I thought about waiting until the last to do the big one. So I went from here to here. No, to here. Not this one, this one. So I went from here to here. I just finished this one the other night. So this is being done on 40 count light hazelnut. I don't know whose this is. I think it's XJU Designs. Not sure. I am using the DMC conversion that is provided from Carriage House Samplings, because I didn't want to invest at that time in the MPI silks. So lots of DMC. So by working on this on Monday night, sorry, it's a bed sheet and I don't have anything to put behind it, and it's not ironed. So the next one I will work on, I'll probably work on completing those block outlines and then go back and work on one of the blocks. I want to get those block outlines done, or at least some of them, you know, partially done, whatever. But I'm very pleased with it. Now I did substitute a color in cotton for one of the colors, and it's in the sun, because I wanted the sun to be a little more vibrant. And I've used it, I think, in that fish, that yellow fish. So there we go. Like I said, there's no rules. It's just have fun, because we need to have fun with our stitching, right? But this one stays, whoa, avalanche. This one stays by my chair all the time because I work on it every Monday night. Symphony of Friendship from Cottage Garden Samplings on Picture This Plus linen in the color fawn, 36 count, using DMC, Gentle Arts, Weeks Dye Works, and it was started in 2024. I had toyed with this one many times, and then I, you know, thought, what the heck. I know that Amy from Amy Loves Toads is working on this. I know that Stephanie from New England Stitcher is working on this. And I just love it. I mean, the birds, you know, the cardinal's right up there on top, and the oriole, and the wren, and the chickadee, and the dove. And I have no idea what that blue thing's supposed to be. Is it a bluebird? I don't think so, because the bluebird has a blue breast. It doesn't necessarily. Doesn't it have a blue breast? I don't know. I don't know. So I'm doing this, you know, like a page at a time. I probably should scan it because it would be easier to follow. So I'm through A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, practicing my alphabet. Yeah, this could be scanned, but it's got a fold in the middle. So I would have to find someplace to scan it that has a larger scanner. And when I go to Staples, they don't like to do that because of the copyright. But here's the threads. So it'll get done. This is in a WIP that Stephanie, New England Stitcher, made for me. Thank you, Steph. With red tulips. I love red tulips. All right. Oh, we finished the first page. All right. Number 35 is the Statehood Splendor series from Thread Milk Designs on rain barrel 24 count from Legacy Linen, and using, it could be DMC, Gentle Arts, Weeks Dye Works, it's whatever. Okay, this is one of those that I can pull whatever threads I want. Now, all right, so Oregon's covered. I have quite a few states. And like I said, I'm a history teacher. I'm a history nerd. I'm a geography nerd. So I decided to do the ones that I have lived in and put the initials in gold. So, of course, here's New York. So when I do New York, those NY will be done in gold, and everything else will be the same. They're all going to be pillows, I think. So, you know, here we go. So I visited Oregon. I went to meet my pen pal. I've been in Delaware a few times, visited Delaware, lived in New York, been to Missouri because my dad's stepmother worked there or lived there, been to Illinois, lived in Maryland. I have never been to Texas, but I'll do it anyway because it's one of the 50 states. And my parents lived in Massachusetts when I was in college. Did I live there? I lived there one summer, so I'll count it. All right. All right. So I have this really big piece of rain barrel, 24 count, and I'm using that because that's what I saw being used at Stitches Unlimited in Lancaster. Stitches Unlimited in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Now, I don't have any one of them going, but hold on to your hats, people. I fully finished the 3 that I had done. And I'm rather proud of them, actually. All right. So here's Pennsylvania. That's where I live right now. That's Lady Dot Creates Chenille. And the back looks like that. 3 fully finishes. Here's Ohio. I was born in Ohio. I'm glad I did Ohio in gold because it gives it a little pop. And there's Vermont. I haven't put the chenille on Vermont yet. My friend Chris, the camping stitcher, sent me some pieces of chenille that she purchased. She purchased big skeins of it at Hobby Lobby, and the colors are gorgeous. So Vermont will most likely have blue, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe white because of the snow. I don't know. I wish Vermont had a moose on it. But such is life. So you can now pick yourself up off the floor that, you know, Nancy has done 3 fully finishes. All right. American Welcome from Plum Street is number 36. This was an exclusive from Farm Girl at one of her Amana retreats. And, you know, everybody fell in love with it. And she, one day I happened to open up Instagram. She said she had some extra kits. I said, yes. So I bought it. So it's a combination of color and cotton and DMC. And I'm doing this on the called for Amana linen. I don't know who the, I think it was dyed by, it's old Amana linen. I think that was dyed by Farm Girl. I think. If I'm wrong, let me know. 36 count, and I started it sometime in 2025. My friend Nell said, hey, let's start along. And I said, okay, we will start along. I decided to start in the middle. And I have a needle hanging from it. The reason I decided to start it in the middle is because the upper left is this flower. And I honestly didn't feel like counting all that to find a start. There we go. I've never started from the bottom. I suppose I could have done that, but yeah. I think when I finish this, I will not put in the words at the bottom. God bless the US of A. I'll just put the water in and call it done. And this is being kept in a project bag that was given to me. It works. All right, number 37 is the stitch along from Sunshine Stitchers last year. Put a Bird on It by Modern Folk Embroidery. I'm doing it on Grace Notes fabric, linen, Molly, light, 40 count. And I picked 5 colors out of my color and cotton because I thought they went well together. So I picked dark auburn, Sherwood Forest, whoops, I'm just throwing them around, Abyss, Coral Trout, and Seaside. All right, so there's my colors. Now, the idea, they broke it up into sections, and you were supposed to do a section every month, and that didn't happen. So that's as far as I got. So again, there's Quakers on this. It's full of Quaker motifs, so when I show you my Whipgo board, there we go. All right, nope, I'm not done. I thought I was done, but I'm not. Okay, number 38 is in my kitty Christmas portfolio that I made. I keep experimenting with portfolios because I can. All right, this is Ann Thomas from Hands Across the Sea. Again, big ass project, lots of flowers, lots of changes, lots of... This one is charted in Soie d'Alger with 103 conversion and a DMC conversion. I got the Vicky Clayton silks. And I taped this is before I put the other ones on floss drops. I taped the conversion, the numbers here. It's because there's so many silks that some of them are on this side of this box, some of them are on this side. I do have these boxes in my Etsy shop. I also have used these to carry, you know, like extra needles and seam ripper and blah, 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 to retreats. But here's what the spool looks like. Now, like I said, she is changing from spools to cards. I wrote the DMC number on the spool. I will probably go and put these on more Adam Hart floss drops when I buy them. All right. All right. I haven't gotten very far. This is being done on, excuse me, Bestitch Me Cinnamon 36 count. That's it. There's probably a couple stitches in there that have been placed because I made a mistake and I'm like, well, I can just put this one here and it'll be okay, because with all that confetti, nobody's really going to notice. And honestly, if I had to sit here and figure it out, I probably wouldn't be able to find them. Okay, what's next? That's the wrong paper. Elizabeth A. Wendon by GGR from, by GGR. Zweigert linen, gray, 56 count, and I'm using Swasserfine. Now, why? Why not? I decided that I was going to try and do a 56 count. Now, I just bought the 56 piece from Hollis Hands Creates. It's a tight 56. That's the reason I'm using Swasserfine. But I love it. And I got 1/4 yard because that's how she sold it. But look how teeny tiny it is. These letters are only 1/4 inch tall. Will I ever do this again? I might, because I did order a piece of 56 count from somewhere because it was on sale. But it's not Zweigert. And so this is what it looks like. I do have it scanned into, I believe I have it scanned. If I don't, I will, into markup. And my Swasserfine is kept in such a wonderful bag situation. So right now, that's my only 56. Now, this is, I'm a member of the Sampler Guild of the Rockies. And they put out a challenge to pick one of your UFOs and get it done by, it's either September 1st or September 30th. I can't remember. But it's their guild year. And you could pick as many as you wanted. So what did Nancy do? She picked 3. And then there was also a patriotic challenge. So my patriotic challenge was Salute to Abigail, which I finished, and I believe I showed in my last video. And my UFO challenges are this one, the 56 count, and Grace by Artsy Housewife, which is my birthday start from 2025. And see, I cleaned up in here, can't find anything. And Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird, which is also finished. If you don't finish them, you pay $10 a piece to the guild, which will then be used for speakers and whatever, and I'm okay with that. But I just thought it would be some motivation. It obviously was for 2 of them, but that's as far as I got. All right, so time to put these on the shelf and get out the last group. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Took a little while. I know for you it was a minute. But I went and got another cup of coffee because I'm going to need it. Getting back into the swing of things, getting up to get my grandson to school, etc., etc., etc. Trying not to spill it all over my sewing machine. So, shall we continue? Where were we? Number 40 I finished, which was Salute to Abigail. Number 41. That would be 43. I don't know how to count. Okay, this is Rose and the Giant Pear from Hands Across the Sea, done on Marbled Bunny XJU Designs 46 count using the Vicky Clayton silks. I think that I purchased the silks off of Stash Unload Cross Stitch Only, but I'm not going to swear by that. This is Rose and the Giant Pear. I would love to have this scanned, but it's small enough, I'm not going to bother. I wish I could show you the silks, but again, they're all in one of my boxes. Beautiful green, pink, and OMG red. You know, lots and lots of. All right. I kitted this on December 6, 2024, but I didn't start it until January 3rd. I don't know when the last time was I touched it. Couldn't figure out what this was for the longest time, and then realized it was a bee or something on its side. This is going to be the Giant Pear. And of course, there's a big house. I don't know, is the house done every other stitch? Yes, it is. So that house isn't even totally stitched. That's going to be fun. Get this out. Work on it. This is in a bee bag that I made. Or no, this is Black Cat X Stitchery. Sorry, this is Tiffany. I think I had that fabric. All right, sorry, my nose is itching. It's the Forever Possible Itchy Nose on Flosstube. And there went one on the floor. Okay, this is Humming of the Bees by Blackbird Design, done on Picture This Plus Velt, 36 count, using Classic Colorworks, Gas, Wakes Dye Works, and DMC. This is one of the first gizmo bags I did. It did not turn out well. For some reason, it did not catch inside, so it became mine, and I don't care. I wasn't about to go back in and... no. All right, so Humming of the Bees. This was one that I was tempted by Kelly. Started it on January 26, 2025. She belongs to a group in Texas, Hill Country Stitchers, and they were going to do this as a stitch along. I thought, okay, fine, whatever. Didn't happen. It's a beautiful chart. Beautiful, beautiful. I am curious as to why she switched to this border, but who's to know why it was switched to that border? The original is a different, is that border all the way around. That's odd. Very odd. Odder than odd. Anyway, who am I to judge, right? Right. Humming of the bees. Bzz. It's a small bag. It's tight. Why am I putting that in there? I have no idea. And this is how far I got. These remind me of torches. Why does my brain go there? I have no idea. Torches like in a burning torch, not a torch like a flashlight. In Britain. We had a student one year who was from Great Britain, and he was coming from science, I think, to my class. I don't know, math or science, when I taught on the half team. So I had social studies and ELA, and my partner had science and math. And my partner came in, he goes, "Mrs. Bender, do you know what this is?" I said, "Yeah, it's a torch." Because our British student walked in with him, and he's like, "How did you know that?" There you go. All right, number 43, Rose Quaker. We're sorry, number 43 has been mislabeled. I have to fix that. I don't even know where Rose Quaker is. I gotta find it. Number 43 is actually in this bird portfolio. I made one for me and one for my friend Kara. For her birthday stitch, she wanted to do his eyes on the sparrow. Big, big, big awesomeness. 435 by 363. Using Gentle Arts, Weeks Dye Works, lots of colors. Okay. I am doing this on, since I don't have it on that list, I'll have to use my card. I'm doing this on Picture This Plus doubloon 36 count. I started it on February 3rd, 2024. We both took it to StitchCon in 2025. I don't know if I worked on it or not. I think I did. And I found a mistake, so I had to tear a whole bunch out. It's on a bed sheet, but I did get the border all the way around. I don't know if you can see it or hear me. But when I was stitching the border, I got all the way around and there was a mistake. And the mistake was all the way back here. Yep. So that's what I did at StitchCon, was frog. Because, you know, you got a frog when you got a frog. So that's number 43. Where did I put Rose Quaker? I will have to find it. Gotta change that. Number 43, sparrow. We're gonna look for it real quick. I don't think it's in any of those. Is this it? Nope. I have a whole bunch kitted. Maybe this is it. Ooh. I think this is it. Nope. Where did I put it, people? Nope. Nope. This is really disturbing. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, I have to give this one a number. Because I did start it, I think. I don't know. All right, I have no idea where I put it. So that means I need to find it. Because that was going to be my 40th anniversary stitch. I already started it, and I had planned on getting it done by my 40th anniversary, which is in 2 months, and that's not going to happen. Okie doke. Number 44, watch out, coffee, is, I have to change those numbers. Number 44, no I don't, is Quilts by Long Dog Samplers on I Don't Have a Clue linen, 36 count using DMC, Gentle Arts, and Classic Colorworks. I started it on, that's wrong. When did I start it? November 1st, 25. It looks like this. It is a start along with my friend Sue, Criminally Creative. Hi, Susan. Sorry. Susan from Criminally Creative. I made this sweet autumn barn looking bag because, you know, it's an autumn type stitch. There we go. That's as far as I am. That upsets me. I wonder where I put that. And here's the threads. Now, I did make a change with the green. It calls for this corn silk, which is very yellow. Susan noticed this, and so I changed it to pea pod. Still has a yellowish tint to it, a yellow base, but it's more green. So if you care to jump on board with this, please do. All right. Next one, which is supposed to be 45, is Lady of the Flag by Mirabilia. I have not worked on this one in a long time, and I do feel guilty because the chart belongs to a viewer who lent it to me. But now that this has been re-released, in limited quantities, and I did order it, so I will be returning her copy. But that's as far as I got. Sorry, I forgot to pull the chart. I will put a picture here. I'm doing the blue conversion, as you can see. I haven't done any of the Chronic, which is what some of those swirls are for, nor have I done any of the beading. I started in the middle, and I'm doing this on, what am I doing this on? Fox and Rabbit flannel flower. So I just need to buckle down, do like 3 threads a day or something, and it'll get done. Oh wait, I found Rose Quaker. Ah, it's on the floor. Excuse me. That's the one that hit the floor. It's number 45, so I have to change that number now. I think. I've lost track. I'm good. So let's double back. This is Rose Quaker from I'll put a picture here. Sticken von der Weihenberg. It's German, Austrian. And I bought the PDF. I'm doing it on Color and Cotton Buttermilk 36 count in DMC. So our wedding colors were gray and rose. You know, back in the 80s when we had the big puffy sleeves and wore a hat with a veil, and yeah, rose and gray was a big thing. So I started this on our anniversary in 2025. My goal had been, and there's that nasty word again, goal had been to finish it by 2026. That didn't happen. That's how far I've gotten. Again, it's a Quaker. I can do this. All right. So that should be number 43. I'm going to change that right now. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. That's fixed. La 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 la. Channeling my inner Wizard of Oz. Number 46 is from Gilair. Gilair from Refleah de Soie. Stitching on Fiber on a Whim, Cocoa, 40 count using DMC. Now, this is charted on a lighter colored fabric. I do have the paper copy, but I went and ordered the PDF from the designer in France. And here are the threads. It's charted in Soie d'Alger. I chose to use the DMC. And I have no idea when I started this. It was started sometime in 2025. I wanted to do it on a darker fabric, just because. So that's what I'm doing. That's as far as I've gotten. So that is Gilair from Refleah de Soie in a squirrel bag from Tula Pink that I made. I mean, I'm not a big Tula Pink fan, but I thought the squirrels were cute. Because that's what I do. I squirrel all the time. All right, number 47 is in a bag from my friend Jennifer. She gave it to me at StitchCon. This is There Is Room at the Table from Annie the Proper Stitcher. I will put a picture here because it is a PDF. I am using Oversoir 103 number 685. And I'm using a piece of mason linen, 46 count. I think it's Antique Button Box Dark. It was a piece of mason linen that I found at Keepsakes when I was at StitchCon. Again, we have Quakers in this one. It's not very big. That's as wide as it's going to get. So I could probably get this one finished. Monochromatic, easy to do. It's kind of nice having these little bags for charts that you have as PDFs. They don't take up as much room. This is Grace in another bag that I made. From the Artsy Housewife. This was my birthday stitch last year. I mentioned it a while ago. It looks like this. I do have it as a PDF. And there's a companion piece to it called Peace, P-E-A-C-E. I'm only doing Grace. Now, I know Jenny from the Bougie Stitchers did it. She joined along with me. It's supposed to be done in 3 different colors of linen. She did it in 3 colors of linen and then sewed them together. I'm not doing that. And I'm seriously debating about not doing this. But again, that little voice inside me says, don't quit. And my dear friend Kara made me some floss drops. So sorry they look raggedy, but there we go. I love this needle, this thread bling. It was from Becky Socks for Mom, her Etsy shop. I just love that bunny. So this is another one I should finish. So I have to finish inside the square. This is one of the leaves from the flower on the side, and then I have to finish the word Grace. I don't have that much to do. There are a couple mistakes in there. This leaf is a little weird. As you can see, it goes right up against the bird. And yeah, but it's what I do because I can. All right. Next is Hannah Green 1826, which is the Queen of the May 2024 from Hands Across the Sea. Lots of grass, big house, big border. 1/1 words and birds. Words and birds. Birds and words. I am using the SWA 103s. They're organized so well. In fact, some of them have fallen out because the bag was open. This is being stitched on color and cotton, linen, sugar cookie, 46 count. I think that reddish pink looks great. I don't know. This way. So, on the list, gotta do things on the list. All right. How do you store your 103s? I know people sometimes put them in, like, I think they're called Biederman thread boxes. But I don't know if the box would fit in here. Maybe I'll just keep them this way. I don't know. That was one of the first times I treated myself to the 103s. Number 50, Santa Wreath. I will put a picture here. from Teresa Kogut. I believe this was available at the Jingle Ball. I am using Color and Cotton, Classic Colorworks, DMC, and Weeks. Again, I pulled out that Color and Cotton because I need to use it. I sewed some fabric around it so I could put it all in my hoop at one time. This is how far I've gotten. I have gone on a Santa kick, and I want to do all the Teresa Kogut Santas. I need to unbury things, so there may be a tragic avalanche. Okay, this is Northern Cardinal by Cottage Garden Samplings. I'm doing it on Picture This Plus linen. The color Legacy 40 count using DMC and Classic Colorworks. This one is also in the hoop because I was working on it. This is from the Year in the Woods 2 series. This is the only one. No, I can't say that. I bought 4 of them. But I love Cardinals. They're red, and there you go. Those wingtips are no joke. There's lots of color changes in those wingtips. So here we go. Look, Julie, it's my needle stuck to the magnet. This was not any fun to work on while my eyes were all wacko. Here we go. So it takes DMC except for Bing Cherry and Ladybug. So it will be done. I also bought the crow, the chipmunk, and the squirrel. I did scan it in and have it in markup RXP. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? All right, avalanche time. Okay, so glad that bottle of paint's not open. First Day of Christmas Ornament from Annie B's. This is a series that originally had come out, I'm guessing, as a block of the month, as a chart of the month thing, and then she put it all in one book. I am using chalkboard black 14 count Ada, and it's stiff, but I had it. It called for black Ada, but that's, you know, who I am. And not trusting myself, I cut all my pieces. All right. And I started this one on, so it is a WIP, but it's not a WIP because it was a WIP when I changed years. But I started this on the 28th of December and I finished it on January 2nd. And except for the beads, I have not put the beads on yet. So, pardonnez-moi. Pardon-moi. This is number 1. It really did not take long. Do I have a intention to get these done by Christmas? I don't know. But there we go. So I started it on the wrong side. So that's why that funky brown stitch is there. But I have to put a red bead in all these little red squares. I have to put some white beads or gold beads, I don't know, down the one. And I want to say there's some red beads in the bird. I'm not sure. Now, do I have the option of not doing the beads? Sure. Who knows? There's also a boo-boo in the pear. My pear is more short and stout because I forgot a row in there and I wasn't about to tear it out. I was not in the mood to tear it out. Doesn't matter. We're good. So that's a 2025 start and a 2026 finish. These are the colors except for one I need to pull that will be used in the entire series. So the next one is 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. There we go. Now, am I going to make them as actual stockings that things can go in? I don't know. These are done just mounted on chipboard or something. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And I keep these in a beautiful Christmas bag made by my friend Jennifer. They've been in the Christmas bag forever. So I finally pulled it out and I said, you know what? I just want something. I know one time I said I don't do smalls, but you know what? I have discovered the advantage of smalls. They make you feel accomplished. All right. Did I skip over one? Yes, I did. But I'm going to give it a different number. All right. So I'm doing a full coverage. I'm not going to bring it out right now because there isn't a whole lot on it. But it's the signing of the Constitution. It's going to be huge. I'll put a picture of it here. It has 89 threads in it. And I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on 25 count easy grid Lugana. Oh, I know what I can do. Hang on. Where did I put them? I don't know where I put them. I'll put the picture here. Okay. Where did it go? There it is. Ah! This is number 53 according to my list, which is now weird. This is Gather In by Plum Street. I started it on February 26, 2023, Fox and Rabbit Saltbush 36 count. Using the called for threads, which is a combination of DMC and, excuse me, Classic Colorworks. Oh no, Weeks. Sorry. And they're all messed up because I just had this out. Wabba wabba wabba. Where are you? There you are. I did scan this. Well, actually, my friend Susan scanned this. Thank you, Susan. And I had to go in and assign the colors using the DMC numbers. So Susan, if you know how I can assign the Weeks Dye Works names, that would be great. And it took a while. It took me like a couple hours, not last night, but the night before. Saturday night, because I didn't go to my grandson's basketball game because of my eyes. But anyway, you didn't need to know all that. So there we go. So this is going to be a great zoom stitch because of all that filling in the roof and in the house and the grass. Now the one thing that I don't believe I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to put Calliope, the gentle steed, right there. I'll just fill in grass. Maybe I'll put a pumpkin in here and there. I don't know. And I'm not going to put in Edna, proprietress of the Gather In. I'm not going to put that in there. So I might drop this flower down a little bit. Who knows? But I'm not going to put those words in there. I have not put the year in because obviously I haven't finished it. And I would have to chart the last digit. All right. Is that all? She says. Anxiously. Whoops. Let's not zip the stitch into the zipper. Gotta put my beads back in with my ornaments. There are some things kitted, but I'm not working on them yet. In fact, I kitted 3 samplers and forgot what the one was. Because that's how I roll, but then I figured, sorry about that, figured that out. Ooh. All right, so let's talk about Whipgo, shall we? We're gonna put the WIP chart. If you wanna see this and, you know, take some time to look at it, I do have a link to my Google Doc. Obviously, I need to make some changes because I can't count. All right, Whipgo. Like I said, I'm not, why did I even think about reinventing the wheel? So I know that a couple of people have really used Whipgo to concentrate on a certain theme or something, like Stephanie, the New England Stitcher, made hers all patriotic, I believe. I think that's an awesome idea. I know that, is it Katie Strachan or Nicole Spoor? I'm not sure. I think it's Nicole. She put one out there that is all Christmas. Now, I did not print hers because the whole background of the chart would have printed green and I didn't want to burn all that ink. I made one myself. I haven't committed to it yet. So there's that. Maybe I'll put it, maybe if I work on a Christmas stitch, I'll put it in here and we'll see how many I get done. So maybe I'll do a reverse Whipgo. But my Whipgo is here. This is a chart that I got from Chris the Camping Stitcher, who I believe got it from the Whipgo Facebook group. And so my idea is I touch it 5 times. Maybe I'll do 500 stitches. I'll touch it as I touch it. I'll stitch it as I stitch it. So here's January. January numbers were pulled 2 and 7. The first one was an animal. So I counted the bird, the partridge, as an animal. It's done. That Whipgo requirement is done. The second one is a plum street. So it's going to be gather in. I want to get some work done in on that. This one's open. So if 13 gets called, I'll either pick something. Maybe I'll work on my Lady of the Flag. Or, you know, whatever. If I'm working on something and in that month from the other 2 numbers, then I'll, or whatever, then I'll just keep working on it. Who knows? But I have, it's very general. So I have patriotic. It could be any of my patriotic. Hands Across the Sea, any of those. Halloween. That I may change because I don't have any Halloween whips. Anything with blue. I've got a lot of blue. Anything monochromatic. I have 2 or 3 of those. Anything, that's Plum Street. Anything with red, a small, I have a couple of those. That could be another ornament. A blackbird. Spring, summer, winter, fall. Open to interpretation. Anything with letters on it, a Quaker, over 1. Something with over 1 on it. The Thread Milk State Series. I know I don't have one going right now, but you never know. Scarlet House. Something with green. I can't read my writing. A Hawk Run. A New Start. Christmas and flowers. Very general. And the reason I do general on my Whipgo is because if I name a specific project, then I feel tied down. So this has been 2 hours plus, and that amazes me because, you know, I'm a teacher and teachers talk, right? All right. So I hope you enjoyed my whips. I hope that you perhaps have been inspired or tempted to look into one of these charts that you haven't looked into before. If you have started them, let me know. You know, we can encourage each other. That's what we're for. And enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. All right? So take care of yourselves. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.